Hi, this is Nick J back from Success Luminary, and this is take two. I want to talk about in this video about belief, and this is for people who are sort of, you know, they're looking to start out. Something's happened in their finances, or they're sick of the corporate world, and now they're looking online as a way to make extra income, or sort of to replace their jobs. Now, and there's this whole thing about belief that people don't believe that the opportunity is real, or they don't believe in. Well, no, that's the public kind of face of the problem. They don't believe that it's real, but a lot of the times it's they don't believe that they can get that thing, whatever it is, whatever the business is, to work because they've tried stuff in the past. In the back of their mind, they're kind of saying, "Oh, it's a scam," all the rest of it, which is kind of a nice, kind of comfortable excuse. When a lot of the time it's because people are unsure of their own ability. Because you can do all the Google searches, you see the pictures of people on the stage at the live events receiving checks. Everybody's talking about this company. There's plenty of proof, but it's that belief system. Um, and all you've got to do is look back at history. I don't mean like the Battle of 1066 or the Napoleonic War, or anything like that. I mean your history. What do I mean by that? Well, it's a bit like a friend of mine who is a personal fitness instructor, and he came to me saying that he's not getting much luck getting people to sign up to his business, to his services. So his first thing was, oh, maybe I should drop the prices. Well, I said, not really. It's probably because you haven't built up enough value. So I asked him to create a little questionnaire and just give it to a cross section of people at work. Just give it to people at work with a few questions, and a lot of the questions were things like, is it because you haven't got time, or you haven't got the money, or you think it's going to be too expensive, or you don't want to go into a gym because you don't want to do it in public. And it was quite interesting. I kind of knew what the questions were going to be, and a lot of it was, haven't got the time, haven't got the money. Um, so, and if people have an emergency, they'll find the time and the money. So once you drill down and you start asking more questions, it's not so much the belief that what he's doing is real. It's more their belief that they don't think they're going to be able to drag themselves over the finishing line to sort of withstand the fitness regime. So it's kind of that whole sort of hidden excuses. So what do I mean about sort of all you've got to do is look back into history, your history? What I mean by that is, if you don't have any belief that you can make this opportunity work, and you're just saying it's a scam, then look back at your history. Look back at, if you're of a certain age, I presume you're an adult if you're watching this and you're looking for some extra income, then you've obviously had quite a lot of jobs, or you've had exams, or you've had to pass your driving test, or you've had to go to the bank to try and get a mortgage, or you've had job interview after job interview after job interview, or you've had to go to big meetings or do presentations in your workplace. Now you can say, yeah, okay, some of that stuff you would know inside out because you know your job, but you don't necessarily know the culture of a new company when you go to start working for them. But what I'm trying to say is, let's say you're sort of in your 40s and you've had maybe 6 or 7 jobs, that's 6 or 7 times that you've been unsure of yourself, but you've gone into that situation and you've prevailed because you've had to, because your income relies on it. You know, if you don't, you get sacked, or if you don't, you end up with no money and you've got to go looking for another job. So you have to do it. So you just have to decide in terms of your business, in terms of a new business opportunity, you know, as to, you have to apply the same importance as you would if it was your everyday job. Because if it's a good company and you get a good payout, by being skeptical and having excuses, you're going to miss out on that. And then obviously that's going to put back whatever dream it is that you're heading towards, why you're wanting to go online anyway, whether it's to have more time with your family, whether it's to kind of go abroad more, see more of the world. You're missing out on that every time you kind of say, no, it's a scam, which is an excuse. It's easy. The pain of sitting where you currently are is easier than the pain of the potential pain of starting something new, stepping outside the box, because you're used to it. You may not like it, but you're used to it. Where doing something new is frightening. It's an unknown. So I'll say it to you again, look back at your future and think, well, you know, I've had X amount of jobs, or I can think of 30, 40 different times where I've had to push myself and prevail. So I can do the same now, and I'm still here. So I know I can do it. I've now just got to do it again into this business. And then you'll get, as long as you apply yourself and create momentum, you'll get where you want to go. But you've got to stop using excuses and look back at all the times in the past where you've had to jump off the end of a cliff and you're still here to tell the tale. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Check out the link below and see what that's all about. It kind of hinges as to what I've just been talking about. And I'll see you on another video. All the best.